Yo, YouTube, what is up? Welcome back to the Radar for Rasta Studio.
What up, Marks?
Guys, we got AEW Dynamite. We got two takeaways from a very packed and interesting show. A lot of stuff went down on this show.
I can't believe it was only 2 hours. Look what you can do in only 2 hours. It's so good.
You could do so much within 2 hours of professional wrestling on live television. Just take notes from AEW as to what you can do, because this was star-studded show from top to bottom. A lot of interesting things went down. Screwjob finished at the end. We got cross-promotion coming with another company. We have a legend showing up on TNT for the first time since 2001. Jeez. We got so much to get into from our two takeaways from AEW Dynamite. But before we do, if you're watching this video, you like the other videos that have been dropping on the channel, smash that like button, do us a favor. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. Really helps us out. Notification bells alerted when new videos drop. Also, follow me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, all the same handles. Follow me on all those platforms. Then you got in the description section below Amazon link. Click on that. Kicks back towards the channel if you shop through Amazon using that link. Fight TV and Honor Club. Sign up to those. Order pay-per-views on those. Kicks back towards the channel using those links in the description. Highspots.com. Buy whatever you guys want wrestling related on the High Spots, but use the description use the link in the description below so that it kicks back towards the channel. So without further ado, guys, get two takeaways from AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite started off with the Diamond Battle Royal. Diamond Battle Royale. Whoever wins this match faces MJF next week for that stupid ass diamond ring he wears on his finger. Yeah, Battle Royals suck. They normally always kind of suck. This one was no exception. It wasn't anything that special. A couple little good spots here and there. Miro and Wardlow going head to head was pretty cool. Hangman Page not lasting to the end was pretty interesting. You have MJF kind of screwing over Sammy Guevara and causing rifts inside the inner circle. And then they forget Orange Cassidy's not eliminated, and Orange Cassidy ends up being the winner of this matchup, so he'll face MJF next week for that stupid ass diamond ring. Yeah, for the $50,000 diamond ring. Not like any of these guys are gonna pawn it. They have to tell how much it is, but it is what it is. So MJF and him are gonna go on to face each other next week.
Forgettable segment. Forgettable. Yeah. Pretty forgettable.
No, I'm sorry. It's like the last two guys. It's a stupid concept because he has the ring, but the last two guys in the match are the ones that face off in the end. So the last two guys were MJF and Cassidy, but Cassidy won it. So whatever. It's a dumb thing. I'm not a huge fan of it. But next thing on the show, we had Frankie Kazarian going against Chris Jericho for the first time ever in a singles competition. Jericho defeats Kazarian. Not the best matchup, kind of like hit or miss on this matchup, but at the end you had issues brewing between the whole inner circle, and then ultimatum set down by Chris Jericho that next week it's either they all make up or the inner circle breaks up forever. So
I mean, that was quick. That was what, 2 weeks together. So I mean, we'll see how this plays out. I don't want to see them end. I'll tell you that much.
That is true. I don't want to see them end either. But we'll see what happens on the next week's episode of Dynamite, going with the inner circle. Next thing we had on the show was pretty interesting. It was Britt Baker versus Layla Hirsch.
She's so small.
A very small woman that was in this match, but strong and powerful. The match was what it was. But it's good to see Britt Baker out there. She gets the win with the lockjaw submission. But then here comes Thunder Rosa brawling with Britt Baker, and for some reason Reba or Rebel, whatever her name is, gets involved because she has different names.
Not Reba.
She gets involved and throws some really bad forearms at Thunder Rosa.
Super bad. It was just terrible. Even like the breakup, this whole thing was kind of shoddy. Like the referees breaking up, they weren't really fighting. I don't know. It was just off. It wasn't like your normal pull apart. But let's see Britt Baker win the belt. Let's just put there and there. Really, this is like, what are we waiting for? Let's just do this already.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see Britt Baker out there. It's good to see like a little bit of a spot for the women's division, but even then, I mean, it's a work in progress. We'll see how they go with this. But Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker is a new feud in the women's division, along with Abaddon facing Hikaru Shida eventually for that title.
Freaky ass Abaddon. I don't want to see her.
Let's get to the next thing on the show. It is Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin against Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs of Team Taz. I thought this match was a solid tag team match. I like the combo of Allin and Rhodes as a tag team because you got Allin who takes all the bumps, gets his ass beat, sells his ass off, and then he gets ragdolled by everybody, and then Cody gets the hot tag, comes in, fires up everybody, and really takes the match home.
White meat baby face, baby. White meat baby face.
Exactly. You got Powerhouse Hobbs changing his look a little bit with a singlet and some interesting boots he had wearing,
and awesome power moves too. There were some good power moves, especially he was blowing Darby up. So it was definitely a fun match. But that was the match wasn't the highlight. It had nothing to do with the show.
They would get the win with Allin hitting the coffin drop, and they get the win there. Then the beatdown would ensue. Here comes Brian Cage into the ring. The beatdown ensues. Now obviously they've been setting up the 6-man forever. It's supposed to be Moxley and Allin with Hobbs going against Archer and Starks and Cage. They tried that a while ago. It all kind of went to shit because of COVID. Now they're trying it again. So they need a third partner. Allen and Rhodes do. So this is takeaway number one, because we get the biggest surprise that we thought we were going to get. This biggest surprise of the night, and it's this picture behind us. Sting is now All Elite. Sting debuts.
Sting!
Yeah, you heard Tony Schiavone with the classic "It's Sting" call as Sting comes out and Team Taz runs away. So it seems like Sting will join Allen and Rose to take on Team Taz, which I guess they may be clearing him. The WWE doctors wouldn't, but now AEW doctors will, or whoever runs the show with that. In
just
AEW.
no buckle bombs. If you avoid the buckle bomb, we can have a decent match. We hide him in the corner. He comes out, does the stop, does the and then when just does the Stinger Splash, Corbin Deathlock, call it a day.
Yeah,
Keep
exactly.
it simple.
Now it's gonna be interesting to see how Sting is gonna look in the ring, like physically, how he's gonna perform physically. I'm not a huge fan of this. I mean, Sting, it's cool to see Sting or whatever, back on TNT with Schiavone on the call, but it's just like I'm not a huge fan of putting these old guys in these types of matchups. I mean, you could hide. It's smarter than putting him in a singles, because you can hide a lot, right? Because it's a 6-man tag.
Of course,
he doesn't have to do a ton. He'll come in, just do some Stinger splashes, get a couple punches, and probably put a Stinger death drop, and that's the end. Most likely with Sting on their team, they are going to win this out. Obviously, that makes sense. But I'm not a huge fan of this. It's just because they could have gave the spot to somebody else who could have used it. Sting doesn't really need it, but I guess to pop a rating, TNT obviously has the history with TNT, but I mean, that's all there is to it. But Sting now in All Elite, I'm not a huge fan of him being thrown into this feud, but I understand why they did it.
Yeah, Cody has always said his favorite wrestler growing up was his dad. His second favorite wrestler was Sting. They even said that on the show. I think it's just a good way to get him involved with his hero. Throw that in there. He's never had the chance, and it's interesting because he's a WWE Hall of Famer. His last match was in a WWE ring, and he lost like every time he was in WWE. So I think it's something for him to get back on the winning track and get a better taste in his mouth. Come back home to TNT. It's it's not WCW, but it's that feel. So it's definitely good to have Sting back. And I think that it's a multi-year deal, so we'll see where that goes, or how much we're going to see of him. But I think he's a special attraction. You have a star, you have somebody that has a name that people can get behind, because it's Sting. He's a Hall of Famer. People know who he is. He can get in there, pop a rating, whatever the case may be. But it's definitely like hey, WWE, we can do the same thing too. We got legends here too now.
Yeah, that's true. They do the same thing, but they have done this in the past, or this whole time, because they have guys like Arn Anderson on the screen, Tully Blanchard on the screen, Jake Roberts out there, guys like that. Those classic guys. Sting,
because like those guys are managers and stuff. Like this
guy's
can go in the ring.
Yeah, exactly, in ring. So, I mean, it's gonna be different this time. Yeah, it's gonna
be way different, and we really didn't see. He hasn't wrestled in maybe 3-4 years.
Yeah.
They just had a WWE Network thing about him and Seth, their feud. So it's definitely like a little, shots across the bow right now. So it's definitely pretty interesting. Sting, definitely off the Legends contract. Say that much.
Yeah, this has been in the works for a while. We heard the rumors rumbling around on the internet that Sting was coming to AEW. It makes sense because of the fact that WCW lineage going on there and the TNT lineage. So it makes sense. But again, I'm not a huge fan of him being put in the spot, but I understand as to why they did it. It's a big shot in the arm for AEW. But guys, that is takeaway number one. Sting is All Elite, signing a multi-year deal with All Elite Wrestling. The next thing on the show will be the AEW Championship match, and that will be like majority of the last part of the show, like a good, good like 40-minute match. And it was interesting because Don Callis of Impact Wrestling shows up, and he's on the call. He obviously has a massive history with Kenny Omega, being like kind of like an uncle to him. And
they're from Winnipeg.
They're from Winnipeg. He was on the call. He basically got him the job more or less in New Japan as well, to be on the call for New Japan. Don Callis, he does a tremendous job. He's one of the best I think wrestling commentators there is on the planet right now. So it was a tremendous job by him on there, but you're kind of tipping your hat there, like you're tipping your hand. I'm sorry, like, he's here. It's a big time thing. So it looks like Kenny's going to end up winning.
Something weird is happening here. Yes, that is something weird, and we definitely see something very strange.
Yeah, the match was really, really good. It's different from the match they had at Full Gear a year ago. That massive hardcore match.
I think it had to be like it had to be different. It had to be more of the Japanese style and there was some of the Japanese style Kenny Omega match in here, but it was a very good match. I wouldn't say it's like match of the year type. It's not at that level. They were kind of teasing it with like, TNT gave us the right to go past 10 o'clock. Like it was going to be like an hour match. I thought they was going to go like to a 60-minute Broadway or something like that. I thought that's how they would finish it, but they didn't. They finished it right on time, 2 minutes before 10 o'clock. But it was a great match. It was a very good match, not a great match.
Yeah, and they had the weird injury spot where like it kind of made it seem like it was a legitimate injury when Kenny got hit with the paradigm shift on that like outside speaker thing on the concrete.
It was like
a heater. Yeah, it was a heater. That's what it was. Yeah. So he drops him with that, and they do like the injury angle, which I didn't think they didn't really have to do because it didn't lead to like a ton after that, right?
Well, we know why they did it. It was to get Don Callis
to the ring. Yeah, so they could have done this. I mean, like the finish was like it was a lot going on at the end of the match, but I don't it is what it is. But the way the match ends is that spot happens with the injury. You have Don Callis to come down and check on Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega slides back in the ring, and then as the distraction from Don Callis happens, Kenny gets a microphone, hits Moxley in the face with it, busts him wide open. This is the thing I thought that was the best part of the match. You're taking the title off of Moxley here, right? Because after all this, he would hit the one wing angel and get the win, right? So a screw job finish. Moxley would hit Don Callis, knock him down. Now, after he would bust Moxley open with the microphone, he hit multiple V triggers, but he hit them very, very snug, very, very clean V triggers, and he hit like 4 or 5 of them, and then hit the one wing angel. So you still protect Moxley by having him need to hit that many V triggers beforehand, and hit him so well and so clean in the face. He didn't look all really, really good. So it was a really, really smart decision by Kenny Omega to do those V triggers in that spot the way he did them, because it continues Moxley to come off as very, very strong, because he had to hit him with 4 or 5 V triggers, then a one wing angel. Gets the win, and your new AEW champion is Kenny Omega. And this takeaway number 2, because Kenny Omega obviously is your new AEW champion with the help of Don Callis, and then him and Don Callis run off immediately. Like they run
no celebration, no nothing. They're running through the
confetti,
backstage area.
Nothing,
They have a car waiting for them.
Yeah, and then Alex Marvez stops him, and he wants to get a comment from him as they're running away from the arena. Everybody's upset with him. Tony Khan, all the wrestlers in the back, everybody's upset, and he says, Don Callis, like, you'll find out on Tuesday. He's like, oh, but Dynamite's on Wednesday. He's like, on Impact Wrestling on Access TV, you'll find out Tuesday what Kenny Omega. So we have a massive.
I have Access TV? I'm not sure if I'm able to see it.
All right, so we have a massive cross promotion here, but it's gonna be the first time a lot of people actually tune into Impact, which everybody most likely will tune into Impact to watch AEW to see what Kenny Omega has to say, because this is big time stuff. This big cross promotion. I don't know if they're building to maybe an invasion angle or something like that. Who knows? But there's a lot they could do.
I mean, it's definitely interesting. We've seen it before back in the day with ECW and the WWF at the time, so it's not something that new or groundbreaking, but it definitely hasn't been seen in 20 years. So it's definitely something very different. This is all, I guess, to grow the business, as a level, all the companies, everybody involved, get more guys, more eyeball on all these products, get more people involved in wrestling, which helps the, wrestling as a whole. So I do like that. Where they go with this, having the championship on Impact, they were definitely putting the Bret Hart screw job angle where he was going there with the belt. They kind of did like the flip around here, where now the belt is going to the other company, but they're definitely in cahoots with each other. So it's interesting. We'll see. I don't know if I love it. We'll see how they play with it. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna be able to watch it because I don't even know if I have Access TV. True. So how many people have Access TV that watch AEW on the regular? That's also a question. But it definitely helps Impact. It puts more eyeballs on the product because you have
the AEW champ, and then it's Kenny Omega.
Champ, and it's Kenny Omega. It's like one of the biggest wrestlers on the planet. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see where this whole feud goes. And is the AEW Championship going to be on Impact exclusively for a couple months? Who knows? We really don't know. So it's definitely something interesting that we haven't seen. So I don't know if I love it, but I'm definitely intrigued.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I love it either. I'm intrigued by it. Obviously, there's a ton of history between Kenny and Don Callis, so it makes sense to have him involved. Yeah. They talked about doing, helping other companies out or doing cross promotion like they did with NWA, they did with AAA, having Kenny defend his AAA championship there. So there's a lot of stuff they've done with that stuff like that in that aspect. So it makes sense. I understand what they're doing, but I kind of want them. I'm intrigued to see how far they take it, and the fact that their championship will be on a different show is a big time thing, especially the big time superstar that they have of Kenny Omega. So interesting stuff there. But guys, that's takeaway number 2. That's the episode we got for you guys today. 2 takeaways from AEW Dynamite. Insane show of AEW Dynamite. Winter definitely came tonight on AEW Dynamite. Tremendous show. So without further ado, guys, if it doesn't work, bro, do not do the job.
It's dead.